The Chicago Bears have 4 linebackers on the roster at the moment ahead of training camp. And those guys include Tremaine Edmunds, TJ Edwards, Jack Sanborn, and Noah Sewell. And after losing 3 of 4 of those guys last season for periods of time due to injury, Edwards being the only one that played in all 17 games, which his stats and play absolutely show over that, we need to add more linebacker depth to make sure we have a next man up in case someone goes down. And Ryan Poles went out and got 2 undrafted rookie free agents after the draft in order to make a competition for that last depth position on this roster. I already talked about Carl Jones Jr. from UCLA, who would be a great addition to this team from a defense and special teams perspective. But there's a new kid on the block that I haven't talked about yet. That is the definition of it's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the fight in the dog. He's a little bit smaller, but plays a lot bigger than he is. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Zach Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Poles went aggressively heavy in undrafted rookie free agency on the defensive side of the ball. And he has signed at least one undrafted rookie free agent every year as a Chicago Bears GM. So there's a chance that it could happen again. And that guy that could have a chance this year, Paul Moala, a 5-year linebacker that played at Notre Dame and Georgia Tech, boomed in his final season in the NCAA with a pretty high RAS as well. Ryan Poles and his scouting team got their attention on this guy, and they went after him right after the draft. An impressive athletic player that is exciting to watch and could be great for this roster. And before I begin today's show, smash that like button to welcome Paul to Chicago, along with commenting bear down in the comment section below if you can't wait for Chicago Bears football to return. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to stay up to date on all Chicago Bears news and content. But let's talk about Paul today and what he brings to this team. So he's an outside linebacker that has played in the NCAA for 5 seasons, stretching across Notre Dame for 4 years and Georgia Tech in his final year. He stands at 6 foot, 214 pounds. Some people have him listed at 5'11", but some say 6 foot. And I'm going to go with 6 foot because 1, he's already right there. But 2, with cleats on, it's going to give him a little bit of extra height. But he packs a punch at 214 pounds for his size. Very well built, athletic, and he plays like a boss. Not only that, he is only 23 years old. Rookies are more and more commonly going to be 23 years old because of COVID play. And this is probably one of the last years that you're going to see that, but still a very young guy. Guys are playing longer and longer anyway. So he has a legitimate shot and he's playing at a very high level right now. So he really didn't get a chance at Notre Dame. Why he transferred and played his 5th year at Georgia Tech. And I am sure that the Fighting Irish wish they had that guy for that 5th year because he balled out for Georgia Tech last year. In 2023, he played in 13 games with 65 total tackles, 37 of them being solo, which means over half. And I will gladly take that. 28 of them being assist, and that's because this guy tracks the ball really well and was a great teammate, and that's what also made him an absolute tackling machine. Along with that, 11 tackles for loss. Dang, I'll go into that in a little bit. On top of that, 4 sacks for a linebacker. Double dang. This guy is absolutely good at getting at the backfield, along with 2 pass deflections, which is not bad for being on the smaller side of things and going against tight ends who can reach over him. But here's the kicker. 3 forced fumbles last year because of learning the Peanut Tillman punch. I don't care what people say. You be like, oh, I punched the ball. Charles Tillman invented that move. So really good at creating opportunities for the defense in order to cause turnovers and make sure that the offense is on the field more often than that. He has huge upside. He was given an opportunity and ran with it clearly at Georgia Tech, which is what this team needs. Guys with chips on their shoulder that will go out and make other guys better and push them to make sure that they make this roster. But also at that size, he could be converted into a defensive back or a special teamer. I mean, his speed, it's not great, 4.36 or 6'3" on a 40 time, but he has a 36-inch vertical, which makes him super dangerous in an RAS of 2.25 or 7.25. So not terrible, not the 9s that we usually see, but this guy's athletic and he plays a lot higher than a 7.25. Now, before I get a little bit more into his scouting report, today's episode is sponsored by Fresh Organic Tequila Seltzer. Go to the link in the description below to try the world's first organic tequila seltzer based out of Chicago. You won't want to miss it. Make sure that you go to the link in the description below. So kind of like I said earlier, he plays a lot bigger than he is, but he takes down big running backs and tight ends over the middle, along with also keeping up with wide receivers to cause pass deflections and make good tackles. Not only that, he is super strong at tracking the ball, never taking his eyes off the ball, which allows him to get more tackles, making him a tackling machine, and give a good assist to players and call out different plays. Very smart player on and off the field. And here's the big kicker for him: strong blitz package guy. Because of his size, he's able to sneak around different defenders, which causes for tackles for loss and also able to get that sack count up. So overall, this guy is a backfield machine and something that the Bears could use, but also he's obviously good at tracking things down, and he'd be a strong special teamer as well. It's going to be a fun camp battle no matter what the position is, especially at the linebacker position. And Paul makes it interesting because of his ability to make tackles and his vision at all different areas of the game, but also let's make him a special teamer, which is going to be such a stacked area on this team. I don't think people are really thinking about that. But this being on this roster, Ryan Poles and Matt who said it, you have to be able to play multiple positions if you're a depth guy, and we have a ton of them right now. So this team is going to be watching them closely. He has a shot. If he is able to play at that high level, he can do it. But overall, because of the talent, it's going to be a little bit tight, and it's going to be a fun training camp. So make sure you guys keep a lookout for tickets. My goal is to be there on that first Friday, so stay tuned for that. But overall, going to be a lot of fun to watch Paul at camp this year. And please, if you haven't already, hit that like button on this video. If you haven't already, comment bear down in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel if you're new to it to stay up to date on all Chicago Bears news and notifications. But with that, thank you as always for tuning in, and bear down, baby.